Welcome everybody to the new and improved PoCommunity out of our beautiful green screen studio here in Port Coquitlam, BC. I'm Mike Arboit, as always, and I'm here with my guest on PoCommunity. It is Sabrina Huff from Sabrina Huff Photography. How's it going?
Good. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. This is our first podcast out of the studio. I'm excited. I've worked with you before in the past. You've done a photo shoot for me and Erin, my wife, and our kid at Christmas time last year. So I'm glad that we finally got you on the show and you get to be on the show while we do this new setup. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast.
That's awesome. I love hearing that.
I'm having fun already.
Nice. So what I like to do is I always like to ask people why they got into the field that they're in. So what started you on your path to photography?
Yeah, so I had my first child and I started taking pictures of him with just my cell phone, and I was uninspired, and I decided that I needed to pick up a camera and start taking pictures, and I kind of fell in love with it after that because I really could get these amazing pictures that, I could not recreate because they were very special and specific to each child. And the amazing thing is I get to look back at all those photos that I've done of my family, and they're amazing pictures that, are priceless in my mind. So I realized that was really a business I wanted to get into, and it's my passion. I get so excited every time I do a photo shoot. As soon as I'm done with a client, I go home and I put my card into my computer and I start editing right away because I love it so much.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you go from just taking pictures with your phone to more extravagant buying a camera? Because I know from experience as a person who can take some pretty good pictures with a cell phone, put a regular manual camera in my hand and I'm completely lost.
So it's funny because I'm the opposite. My cell phone, I take horrible pictures. They're awful. I don't even bother anymore. One day I'm very spontaneous, and one day I just picked up a camera and said, I'm buying this. Thankfully, I have an amazing husband who supports my dreams. So I picked it up, and I was an awful photographer when I started. I was awful, but, I really put in the time and effort to really learn how to properly use a camera. And now I just look at all the pictures I can create, and I feel like it's endless. The mind is endless. I can just take just a simple picture, but then make it magnificent. And so I love that part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've seen your work. Like I said, we've got photos done by you before, and it's beautiful. You
Thank
do
you.
a very, very good job. So when you decided to get into this and do it as a full-time gig, did you have to just up and leave a comfortable career?
I actually was still working part-time, I was working full-time and doing photography part-time. And I'm now on my last and final maternity leave. And I said, enough of this. I can't be there for my family, and I can't be there for my two businesses. Something has to give. So I said goodbye to my corporate job. And December 18th is my last day.
Oh, wow. It's really soon.
Yeah, it's really soon. I let them know 2 weeks ago. I mean, I'm technically on mat leave, so I haven't worked for almost 2 years at the job, but I really decided I had to make a decision where I wanted to put my effort in. And, you can work you spend so much time working that, to me, I wanted to be happy. And I realized while I'm at leave that I wasn't happy at my corporate job. And I now get to do and get paid for something that I absolutely love. And that's the best part of it.
Yeah, and that's the scariest part.
It's scary, yeah.
You're gambling on yourself. You're gambling on just your passions.
Mm-hmm.
But once you kind of get past that, you realize that your happiness is worth so much more than a paycheck. It's
much.
nice. And to each his own. I'm not dogging anybody that decides that life, because most people do. It's very scary having pretty much whatever you make in the palm of your hands. There's no cushion, but it takes a certain individual to dive in, and so that's big on you. I didn't know that's 3 days from now.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just very thankful because I have such a supportive husband, and he pushed me to take that leap of faith. And I'm forever grateful for him, because if it wasn't for him and my family being as supportive as they are, I probably wouldn't have had the strength to do it. But I tell you, the day I told my company that I was done, like a weight, like I just, what's the word? The weight was
Off your
off the
shoulder.
shoulders, right? It just, I mean, it's the best feeling, even though it is scary.
Yeah, it's super scary, and
Yeah.
it's like you have that build up to do it. That's scary, and then you do it. It's scary, and then afterwards, like, yeah, you're still stressed. You still have that like
Hmm.
what if, and it's that, but it's a weight off your shoulders. Completely true.
Yeah.
Um, when you decide, like with photography, like obviously it can be a very seasonal busyness. Like obviously right now, Christmas. Have you been busier than usual?
So I used to do mini sessions. I have come away from that because I did feel that I wasn't properly serving my clients.
Yeah.
And so I've rebranded this year, and I've taken on a different approach. So with all my sessions, I actually spend so many more hours, because even before I book a client, I actually get on the phone with them. We have a conversation. I get to know the client before we even decide, even if they want to book with me, because I feel that connection is so important. And if you don't have that connection, it does translate in photos.
Yeah.
So I take that time to get to know the client. And then even before the session, I usually will have the client come to my home, or I go to theirs, and I help them choose all their outfits for their photo shoot. And we really try to figure out what the concept is for that photo shoot. I mean, I've had clients who have wanted to go up a mountain, or do studio, and I like to get to know my clients before and figure out where their pain points are, because once you understand that, you can work with that client to make them feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do all of that, and then then we do our session, and I really take my time with the clients. I spend about 3 hours with each client, depending on what we're doing, and at the end of it, I get to the best part is after we've done the session, I actually meet up with the client. I go to their home, and we go through all their images together, and I really help them pick their best pictures.
Yeah.
And then the best part of it is I actually do provide prints and wall art, and I will look at their walls, and I'll have a good suggestion on what to hang on their wall, all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of a one-stop shop. So I help with everything, and I guide them through the whole process. So it's a lot different than your typical photographer.
That's wicked.
Hmm.
It's like, is there a certain type of photography that you like just live for?
Yes, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so I I have a few, but I specifically enjoy photographing women. I have found that so many women think, one, they're not photogenic, two, they're not pretty enough, or they want to wait till they've lost 10 pounds. I have these clients who feel this way, and they're really nervous to come in for the photo shoot. But once we've done the photo shoot and they see their pictures and seeing their face light up and go, that's not me. Is that really me? Am I really that pretty? That just, oh my gosh, like that is fills my soul,
Yeah.
because it's life changing for some people.
Oh yeah.
I actually had a client recently who had contacted me a couple years ago looking for headshots, and I was more expensive than what she was willing to pay at the time, and so she went somewhere else. And 2 years later, she called me. We got on the phone. She was almost in tears because she felt so ugly at her last photo shoot. It took her 2 years to get comfortable booking another photo shoot. She booked one with me. She looked at all her photos and said, I've never felt so beautiful before. And she's already talking about booking her next session. And it's transformed her and the way she sees herself. And that's what it just makes my heart.
Yeah, it's definitely something like we do the video podcast and I hear it constantly. It's like people are so just like worried about how they look, and they're so scared of doing things like this because of how they look. And
Hmm.
it's pretty sad. It's very sad that it comes to that. But like being able to help people, and I've had people come on here just not confident in doing video shoot. Like they almost came in not knowing, thinking it was going to be audio, and then see cameras, and they're scared. And
Hmm.
after they see it and they get more comfortable, and it just you feel good that it almost blossoms something, because I've had people that hated the idea of podcasting, hated the idea of being on camera, that now do it, and like they do their own, and it's just getting out of that comfort zone. So if it's how you do things too. You're very, I can tell, personable. You care about what you're doing for your clients. That's what we try to do here too, is just make people comfortable. It's not corporate-y feeling podcast,
Not
even
at
though
all.
this is a business podcast. It's it's very just more casual, and I want people to feel more casual and not have to look at these cameras all the time. Like, just talk to each other. Act like
Yeah.
it's just a meeting.
And you kind of forget the cameras are here.
You do.
Yeah. I had to ask where the camera was. So
Yeah, it's the big lights
yeah.
will make people all scared. The big, like, just the cameras in general. But that's why I kind of like this is the first one in here, like we said, and I love it because in the podcast studio, I felt like if you're nervous with it and the lights are just closer to you, everything
Mm.
is closer to you. So if you're not used to this world, it can be really intimidating when you got a beam of light just pointing at you. And here it's a little bit more couch casual.
Yeah, and you strategically put the actual screen where I can't see it, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's perfect because if I could see myself, I'd be a lot more nervous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's good to hear. We'll definitely be ironing out the kinks, but I think we've got it down. We got an awesome producer today. This
Yeah.
is next level, and I'm glad that you got to be on this podcast because
So am I. Thank you.
yeah, it's definitely, it was almost a spur of the moment decision to do it out of here today, but I definitely am happy we did. Maybe I might try, because I will be putting some extra, like a little bit touches on this when I go to edit it. Maybe post some photos that I've seen of yours as well as the ones you've done for us. Because like I take a lot of pictures of my kid. We've had other people take pictures of us and our kid, and the pictures that you captured of them, like we just are in love with. Like there's the one that you did of him at Pit Lake, where he's just like looking out,
Oh yes,
and
I
it's just
remember
like
that
it's one of the, it's a
picture.
photo that can be. It's like it can be. It's not just like it's a beautiful photo in general. It's not just the family that is my kid's family. It's people that have seen it are just like they've told me they would put it up on the wall.
Yeah,
Like
and that one tells a story, right?
yeah,
Like, and that's what I like to do is tell a story and not just have your typical standard. I mean, I love taking the very standard photographs, but I like kind of thinking outside the box as well.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a you know it's with cell phones and everything. So many people think they are a photographer, think they are this, and think they are that.
Hmm.
But it's not just taking pictures. What you're doing is creating moments, creating like an actual story with your photographs. You're
Hmm.
creating a full-on story with them. Like you said, with the picture you took of my kid, it's like, oh, it's just like he's a young. It's like the world is yours. And so the first thing I think of
Hmm.
is like not Scarface, the world is yours, but like it's just like that's the first thing I see is like
Yeah.
it's a captivating still frame, and that's what good photographers, which I
Thank
assume
you.
you
Thank you. I appreciate
are
that.
different than the person that's just like sets up in a studio and just takes pictures of people and calls himself a photographer, because anybody can buy a camera,
Absolutely.
especially now. Anybody can. Things have gotten, technology has gone up and prices have gone down.
Hmm.
So it's like people think they can do this, but it's really the creative minds, the people that are passionate about it and that care about what they're doing, that really will go further with it.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I applaud you. Like I mean, I've gone through it with this business and stuff where you take something that you're passionate about, whether like, and you put your full
Yes.
on just like everything into it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
That's I've had numerous conversations with numerous people on this podcast, and that they kind of, since the pandemic has started, it's a sink or swim mentality. It's like
It
either they
really
lost their
is.
jobs by getting laid off, and they're like, okay, what's my passion? Let's turn that into a career. Because
Yes, and that's the most amazing thing I've seen since COVID is people who have maybe lost a job and then they've picked themselves back up and then created their dreams. I mean, that's one good thing that I've seen come out of COVID.
yeah, there's not many in betweens. I've said this before. It's
No.
you got people that are like, okay, this is the time to go as hard as I possibly can,
Hmm.
or they just hands up in the air, I'm done. I
Yeah.
give up. And there's not many just floaters just being like, like I'll just mosey along and just do
Mm-hmm.
this. It's like you had to make the decision to either like really like go harder than ever before, which I've met a lot of people that have done that.
Yeah.
Now, it's a weird place, weird thing when it comes to like our co-working space and people. It's like I have this conversation with many people who are like, yeah, I hated my work before. It drained me. I quit my 40-hour a week job so I can work 80 hours,
Yes,
80
yes,
hours a week
yes,
for someone even crazier than my
yes.
old boss. And that boss is me.
I know.
And so,
Yes.
but you still feel better and you still
Yeah.
feel refreshed, even though you get the stress of being your own business on the back of your
Yeah.
shoulders. It still feels better.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Like I work way harder than I used to. And it's, that's a really good point. But I mean, when you're doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work,
No.
right? So my husband says I get a little obsessed because I get so focused. And my kids say to me when I'm editing, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, and my husband says, "Oh, that's just her focus face." And I just look, I'm so focused and I just, I might look mad, but it's just because I'm just in the zone.
I think that's an art thing. I think it's
Yes.
as an artist, like any, I've come from a music, like a music background,
Yeah.
and it's just that if you get something that you're working on, the worst thing for you to do is to stop and then
Yes.
go back to it. It's like you get into a zone. I remember so many nights coming home from college when I was in school for music, uh, having a project, and instead of going to sleep, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's like, I'm going to start working on this project. And then all of a sudden it's 6 a.m. and it went by like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. When you're passionate about something, the time just flies,
Hmm.
but you need to get it done. And that's another reason I'll plug our space a little bit more is we have a lot of different kinds of artists that have memberships here, that us being a 24/7 facility, that's huge, because when do artists and like photographers, when do they get their
Hmm.
like their creative juices to flow? It's like
Yeah.
it could happen at 9 p.m. It could happen at 6 a.m. It could happen. Okay, well, no, get down to the studio, get down here, do something about it.
Yeah.
Like, so we really are trying to kind of like cater to everyone's schedule, how people work, students that can't leave their jobs that just want to try to do something they're passionate about a couple days a week. Like, really what we're trying to do is blossom people to know that they can do things for themselves, and that's the biggest thing. I think past generations have been so worried about monetization and how much
Mhm.
money they make, that their sanity and their happiness is
Comes
not
second,
comes
right?
second.
Yeah.
They built you said you're on maternity leave, so you have children. um, Past generations, it's almost like they were pushing you away from your children. They'll have other people
Hmm.
watch them. You just got to make money and be away from the home and make money, 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 money. I think this generation, I honestly think COVID has a weird blessing that has done it, where people see their family values and they're like, no, you know what? Maybe I won't get as much money coming in, but I can spend time with my kids. I can be happy with them. I'll have energy to play with them.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of going back to a time where family came first, everything second.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when in the lockdown, when we were forced to kind of not go anywhere, I mean, that's when I really took a step back and looked at what I was doing and I thought, this isn't working. I'm missing my kids' lives and that's not okay.
No,
So, now I get to, you know, if I mean, when we are allowed to be part of the field trips again, but I'll be able to do that with them, and I'll be able to, you know, be involved in a bake sale and all that stuff, whereas I couldn't do that before.
no.
So it's great that I can do that.
Yeah, it's huge. To me as a parent, like now it's like, oh, kid has an appointment. I don't have to like pump myself up to have to ask the
Hmm.
boss to be like, is
Yes.
it going to be okay if I take my kid to get a checkup at this time? And even
Yeah.
though most of the time it was okay, you still have to build it. It's like having that freedom is going to feel better than, yeah, you might have to make up the work later
That's what
on.
I was gonna say. You'd probably have to make it up some way, but
It's, you have a schedule that you can create for
mhm.
yourself, and it kind of I'll praise it. I'm a ginger with gray hair. That doesn't, like, I have gray hairs coming in, and that's since I became a business owner during a
Yeah,
pandemic. So there is things that come along with it,
of course
but
there are.
you kind of have to outweigh the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And I can see the relief that you have when it comes to not going back to corporate.
Oh my gosh. Like I still drive by some of my old client customers with my old job, and my customers were great. It was my old job that just was draining me, but I still get like a bit of anxiety there,
Yeah.
even knowing I'm not going back. So it's just that in a way it's good because it really reinforces the idea that I made the right decision by not going back. So
What were you doing exactly?
I was in sales,
Yeah.
and I went to all the grocery stores and sold cheese and yogurt and milk, and I did that for 12, 13 years now. So I did it for a long time, and I was just bored, and
Yeah, keeping creative minds behind
yeah,
like kind of the plug and go jobs. It's hard to do because
yeah,
I feel like it could be the easiest high paying job in the world. If it's the same over and over and over and over, and it's not something you're passionate about, doesn't matter what it is.
totally,
You're gonna get bored and sick
yeah,
and not like doing it.
yeah.
So it's like when it comes to creative jobs, like you're in photography, we got like videographers, musicians. It's like it's never the same.
No, I had a client today and I said to her, I go, I have some wings. Can we put some wings on you? And she kind of looked at me and went, okay. We threw on these wings and she just like started sitting up and strutting her stuff. And she's like, damn, I love these wings. These are nice. And I can't wait to show her the pictures because she looked phenomenal. And, she went from kind of sitting like this to sitting really high, and just, I could see the change in how beautiful she felt in that moment. And I mean, that, like I said, that feeds my soul.
Yeah, it's definitely just a great feeling. You feel when you feel proud of what you do, it's a totally different. Just getting a job done is actually you feel like it's
Mhm.
what's the word? It's just it's you could be creative and you could do what you wanted to do with it and you're proud of it and you're proud of what you're trying to monetize off of.
Mhm.
So you're picky and
Oh my
you're
gosh.
immaculate, but what
Yes.
comes out is a passionate project.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's that's huge.
And I mean, I can't say that I'm always confident thinking, oh, my clients are going to love these. I mean, there's so many times where I've gone in going, oh, please like them, please like them. And then their response to seeing their images and then me seeing it reminds me, that I have to stop being so hard on myself
Yeah.
because I am looking from a different perspective and I'm just nitpicking things that nobody else would notice, right?
Yeah,
So,
100%. You notice
yeah.
all the little things that literally zero people notice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
So, where can we, if where are you working out of right now? Like, where are you taking your photo?
so I so my studio is in Pitt Meadows.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Aaron about this, that I'm considering doing I'm utilizing your space
Yeah,
for some headshot minis maybe coming up.
cool.
So in the new year, so I'll be planning that with Aaron for the new year. So, and then I just kind of, for outdoor, I go
Yeah.
anywhere and everywhere. I mean, if a client comes to me, actually a client in January wants to go up to a waterfall. So we're gonna hike up. We're gonna take pictures out of waterfall. I'm so excited. So
You said?
this is in January, and she's
Ooh.
getting in the water.
Is this like golden ears or something?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, and she's like, I'm like, in the middle of January, you're gonna get in the water. She's like, yeah, I don't care.
it's a make for a cool picture.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, we're constantly texting back and forth, sending out different ideas, and I don't know who's more excited, her or me. So
Yeah, I think it sounds like a cool shot. It's
yeah.
just gonna add to it. She says she's gonna be okay, but if you felt golden ears
Oh
water,
my
even in the
gosh.
summer,
In the summer, I know she's crazy, but I think we're gonna save those pictures for the last 5 minutes
yeah,
if she can survive for 5 minutes. But we're gonna get some pretty amazing
that's awesome.
photography up there. Yeah.
Those would be. I'm stoked. I'd love to see those
Hmm.
pictures because yeah, that's a stunning spot.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. So I'm always up for. I have another client who wants to go up the mountain and do some snow shots, and so we're gonna go up the mountain, and I'm bringing my wings.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny because like I come from a wrestling background too, but like just extreme sports in general. And you never think about like if you see like a skateboarding video and you see a guy like ripping down a road on a skateboard, and then you're like, how is that camera following him? It's not attached to him. the people that you have to have respect for are these, because like you never see the photographer, the videographer in that
No.
shot that's literally like going as fast as they are but filming it at the same time. So like for you, like if you're going up a mountain, they don't think, oh, that photographer just had to hike up a mountain and do all these things and be in the same scenario as the people
Yeah.
that are in these shots.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's definitely what you have a drive, a certain drive to actually put yourself in that. Because imagine going, I like doing a long hike. I'm not much of a hiker. But if I did a long hike and then I had to hold the camera and do all that stuff, it's a lot. It's not
Yeah.
easy. So you have to
Yeah.
have like some passion and drive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I usually have like a wagon full of stuff. I mean, and I bring it all along with me, and you find ways to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can like obviously we're broadcasting to a lot of our members, local people. This is PoCommunity, so Port Coquitlam, Tri Cities, but I try to like really promote anybody in the Vancouver area, to be honest. But how can we get people to contact you?
Yeah. So you can either go to my website, which is www.sabrinahuff.com, or Instagram at sabrinahuff.com. No, sabrinahuffphotography.com, sorry. And then Facebook as well. But best way to reach me is sabrinahuff.com on the website, and there's a contact me page, so you can just fill out the information. I can give you a phone call. The
Awesome.
best thing I have to say though is don't be afraid to get on the phone with me, because it is so important that you get to know your photographer before the session, because especially if clients are nervous about photography, because it can be very vulnerable. But if you get to know the client, you get to know the client gets to know me, and we get to know each other before the photo shoot. It's the best way to feel comfortable leading up to the session. Not only that, if you give me a call, we talk, and you realize I'm not a fit, that's okay. I still like to get on the phone and chat. So that's always the best way to get a hold of me.
Nice, nice.
Hmm.
Well, I usually like to ask this question because we're still sitting in the middle of it. COVID. Obviously, it drove you to do a great thing and start your business.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, people come into your house. Be like, how has
Yeah.
that affected you? Like,
Yeah. So actually, shockingly, it hasn't actually been too bad, because what I do is I wear a mask.
mm,
So when people come in, and I also gauge people's like comfort level. So I have longer lenses so I can be further away,
mm,
and I make sure that no one else is in that room at that time. I don't have clients back to back, because I want to make sure it's a safe space.
well, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been such a headache of a time. We can say it now. It's just been such a trying to kind of balance and how to do things. We've had to deal with it because we're an event space too. So it's
Hmm.
like trying to figure out how we can do events, or so it's just been a kind of a headache. So when I'm like, oh, you're doing a lot of stuff out of like studio, out of your house, or it's like I know people that have had to go virtual with so much stuff. So like
Yeah.
if you're meeting up with people, and you brought up that you pick up the phone, it's probably you had to do a
The
lot of that
the
because
best thing to do is pick up the phone, because if you don't connect with your photographer, I tell you, it will show in the photographs.
yeah, you might as well just
Yeah,
go to Walmart and get the
totally.
photographer, the
Yeah,
photo studio. That's just like you could. Me and Aaron back in the day, couples pictures when we were like young, very young, and
yeah,
it's just like they don't. It's just a kid pressing a button on a camera. It's
yeah,
not someone who's passionate about it. So it's like
yeah.
if you really want good photos, getting to know your photographer, how if they're the right fit. You learn that with weddings, I find. Weddings and
Yes,
engagement photos. I've seen what a photographer do an absolute outstanding job for a wedding, and then that same photographer used for another wedding, and it doesn't look nearly as good. It's the vibe of the people, the vibe of the wedding.
absolutely.
The photographer needs to be having fun too. If it's
Yeah, and I don't know if you did this when you got married,
yeah,
but I remember I'd go. This was so I've been married, gosh, 12 years, I think.
yeah,
Sorry, Dan. But when we were at that point looking for a photographer, we actually would go to the photographer's home and go through those. Remember those albums that you
yeah,
stick the pictures in?
yeah,
We would go through those, and we interviewed about 5 or 6 photographers, and then the person we decide to hire was someone who we vibed the best with.
yeah,
So, I don't think I think that still is important, even 12 years ago to today. It's still just as important.
Oh yeah, it's very important. We got married at a place. It was like they called it an all-inclusive wedding. So
Okay.
they have like 8 photographers that work with their where we got married, and
Right.
so it's like, oh yeah, choose from all these, and then see if your date's open to them. And we chose one, and they said, oh no, he's booked for that day. But we have a photographer who's very like him, and we were like looked at his stuff, and it was very similar. But we are glad because basically they chose. We never got to meet them first, but we
Right.
chose, and then we ended up hitting it off,
Okay,
and
so
it was
that's
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
And you can almost tell with the way he shot. Like that's the thing, like
Mhm.
having that big group of different kinds of photographs. We knew what we wanted, and if he were to have taken photos for somebody who wanted like a lighter looking wedding or just a different vibe, I think it could have failed dramatically. But
Yeah.
we have a certain style. We loved it, um, but it's so easy to pick the wrong
Oh, yeah.
one.
Absolutely. And I mean, I always use this tagline, you are photogenic when you find the right photographer, because when you find a photographer who knows how to pose you, who knows how to just get you in the best possible light, who's just really well versed in all that, you are photogenic. I mean, if you go to my website, look on my before and after pictures, you will be amazed because seriously, like, I've had so many people after the photo shoot say, you know what, I didn't think I was photogenic. Now I know I am. So,
Yeah,
so
you
it's
take
big.
out their best
Yeah.
features.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed that people are scared to smile, how captivating their smiles can be.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just how you take the angles of a shot. Anything. I mean, I'm not a photographer, but there is
But
certain.
there's certain things, I mean, even just like, even if I'm sitting like this and I'm taking a picture, okay, that's nice. But if I roll my shoulders back and then turn slightly, all of a sudden I've lost inches on both sides and I look slimmer.
Yeah,
Right. So there's like little tricks like that. Same with like 99.99% of the population gets the double chin.
yeah.
So then it's just teaching the client how to stick out that chin and bring it down, and then all of a sudden no double chin. So there's all these little tricks that a lot of photographers don't know,
They don't know or they don't care.
or they don't care,
Yeah,
because they're just trying to be quick, and because they've allocated maybe an hour to do the photos, where I really take time with the clients to make sure they get the best possible pictures they can.
well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anything else that you want to talk about today? I mean, I think we got
No,
it
I
all.
think we got it all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely want people to contact you because, like I said, had you do photographs for me, Aaron, and my kid. It was outstanding.
Thank
Like
you.
it was so hard to pick ones we wanted. Like there were just so many good ones. And yeah, just your personality too. Like personable. We've talked a few times, but
Hmm.
like even the first time I met you, you were easy to get along with,
Thank you.
and it changes. Can change just the vibe of a photo shoot dramatically if you connect. Like we've
Hmm.
been talking about
It
this whole
really
time.
does. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and Aaron and I are talking about doing another one soon, so
Awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Awesome. And then,
Yeah.
also you're saying that you possibly might be coming in using space more.
Oh
So
my gosh. Okay, this space, seriously, you guys have done such an amazing job.
thank you.
Like I was working here last week, I think, or the week before, and I said to Aaron after, I go, "Oh my gosh, this is such a great space to work at. Like I need to become a member because it's just so amazing here." And not just you guys and the other staff, but just everybody here
Yeah.
is so welcoming. Like, I felt like I was part of a family,
Yeah.
and people would say hi to me who've never seen me before,
Yeah.
and it was just a genuine, nice feeling.
And
It was
that's what we
great.
want. And it's at a time where I feel like people are really trying to separate everyone.
Mhm.
And what we have is a mix of people that come from all walks of life, all different
Yeah.
industries, all different mentalities, ideologies with what's going on. It's a very, very screwed up time in the world.
Oh
Yet
my gosh.
we have these people in one house that all seem to get along and respect one another, and just it's a community. And you know what? I always use the example of like everybody has that one uncle. Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes,
you
yes.
know what? Everybody has that one uncle, and I think people are starting to like just cancel people for no reason. Well, this place has really taught us that like you can get along with one another. You don't have to be
You
completely
don't have
on the
to
same
agree.
person as
Yeah.
long as it's not hate.
Yeah.
or like bigotry or something.
Yeah.
We wouldn't accept that here, but there's none of that. And
Yeah.
it's just bringing community together is our biggest thing. And that's what we hear all the time, that it's just, they come here, people that don't even understand what co-working is. Hell, like when we opening the business the first year, I knew what it was, but I didn't like understand like how much community means.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just seeing people that have joined. Yeah, they have businesses and they didn't want to work from home anymore, but it was more that social, like going and meeting people, getting your work done by being able to be part of something where it's not your coworkers.
Yeah.
It's not like I need to get out that Bobby's not doing his job. I like him as a person, but he's not doing his job right, so I don't want to be around him. It pisses me off. Here it's like they're not your workers. It's just other people in your community. So if you're having a bad day at work, it's not because of them. So
Yeah.
that vibe doesn't rub off on one another.
Yeah, and not only that, because if you're working on alone a lot, like if you say you're at home and you work from home, you don't it's kind of lonely a bit. But here, even if you're not even talking to anybody, you feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, where you're like we've talked about, where you're trying to avoid being in contact with people, but here, even if you're not talking to anyone, you still feel like you're part of something. You're part of something special, and that's pretty unique.
That's awesome to hear. That's
Mhm.
exactly what we love hearing. That's
And
our
you guys
goal.
have great coffee.
Thank you. Thank you. We are going to make it even better because people like it so much. We keep on running out of ingredients before the guy comes to stock it. So
Wow,
it's obviously times are picking up, which is nice
that is
too. We've been
great.
here it'll be 2 years February, which is unbelievable.
Amazing.
But it's just now seeing kind of the seeds that we planted in 2020 kind of coming back,
Mm-hmm.
doing well for us. And yeah, it's just growing pains, but that coffee we've had Mo here producing our show, he knows when we did like some videos with some of our members, and that coffee machine is definitely something they're happy about.
Yeah, I haven't tried the beer yet. I keep seeing the beer there. I
It
haven't tried
changes.
that. Yeah, I'm not a beer person though, but I always look at it and go, I should just have one, just cause.
Just do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I think we get that quite a bit, to be honest. We get a
yeah.
lot of people that don't drink beer that try our beer because we get it from different breweries. We try out different ones, but
Which is great because now you're supporting other businesses,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is a great
We
thing.
want to do
So
local. We've been
yeah,
trying to do local.
yeah, that's amazing.
We've done both mainstream beers and local beers, but we try different ones, and we've had people because it's on tap, and we have
Hmm.
one of our members. I'll plug him too. Is the draft doctor.
Oh, cool.
Mel Fisher. He takes care of our lines in our kegerator. So
Amazing.
we aren't like a lot of what we've learned about a lot of like pubs and restaurants is they don't have the time to maintain like because they're always booked
Right.
to like clean their lines as much as they
Yeah.
can. Ours is really fresh because we have a guy who's a member that's in here weekly, just like cleaning it up.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, there's pluses of being members here. We're really
Yeah.
trying to build a community. I can just bring that community, and I mean our podcast here, PoCommunity. It's Port Coquitlam, kind of putting Poco and community together, but it's just that's our biggest thing. It's just kind of creating a family like atmosphere between people,
Hmm.
that where they can respect each other and just work together and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, and you have your networking on Mondays, which
Yeah,
has been really great. Erin has been relentless in sending me reminder emails, so I finally came on, and now I'm hooked.
yeah,
So you
that's
guys have,
picked up.
yeah, it has, and you know what? I mean, I always feel I'm like, oh, I got to make Monday work. I got to make it work. So I enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to. I already have ideas on renting your space out to hold some kind of event. So that's really great that you guys offer that as
Yeah,
well.
thank
So
you, thank you.
yeah, you guys are doing great here.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you. Yeah.
appreciate that, and thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you
This
for
has
having
been
me.
great.
Yeah.
Like I said before, guys, check out the website. What was it again?
www.sabrinahuff.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I loved having you on.
I
I would
love
love
being
to.
here.
I mean, I really want to build these podcasts up. So if you are ever interested in doing more, we want to do more niche catalog. I want to build a catalog of podcasts. So if we ever were to do like photography podcast or something,
I'm in.
yeah, because I really want to build this community word again, but build a community and build podcasters that talk about what they love doing,
Mm-hmm.
because the best kinds of podcasts are people that are passionate about what they're talking about. So if we were to promote these things as a company and just have our members host these shows, I think it's something that is
Oh my
definitely,
gosh, that'd be so fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's growing, so we're gonna have fun with it. But yeah, thank you
Thank you.
so much. Yeah, check out sabrinahuff.ca or
.com.
.com. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for listening in.
And I hope you enjoyed our new studio setup and enjoyed this podcast. I know I did. So yeah, thanks everybody. This has been another edition of PoCommunity. I'm Mike Arboy. She is Sabrina Huff. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.